Up, y'all? It's Chief Silent, Black Hawk, back at it with another lesson. Before I start this lesson, like always, I like to send out some positive energy to the beautiful ladies out there. Uh, I would like to send positive energy out to y'all, no matter what color you is or where you come from. I would like to send peace to you. Okay. I would also like to send peace and positive energy on to the fellas out there. Peace on to the fellas. I would also like to send peace on to the Queen of Heaven and Earth, my mother Isis. Uh, I would like to send peace, all the worship, all the praise on to her. I would also like to send peace on to all the Orishas that live amongst us. Um, I would also like to send peace on to the souls that are unaware of who they are and that are lost. I would like to send peace to them. I would like to send peace to the planet. um, and I would also like to send peace to the cosmos. Uh, so yeah, I wasn't going I wasn't going to teach tonight because I wasn't told to teach about anything, but I wanted to get more in detail of certain things. So we uh we know that they use a lot of numbers, and these numbers have meanings to them, right? So you see the number 12 and you see the number 13, right? So like I told you, the number one is the queen and the king flip. The bottom of the one is the four corner square. The four corner square is relating to the earth lodge, which will be your root chakra. Okay, so the four is the mother line, but a four is really a seven. Right, so if you balancing off the left side of the four, then you balancing off the 3 degree, which will be the father line. If you balancing off the right side of the four, then you balancing off the fourth degree off the mother line. Right, once you connect the lines to the four, right? Once you connect the lines to the four, then you will be in tune with the mother line and the father line because you did the spiritual work within the steps, right? So that's what the bottom mean, right? Okay, so the top of it, because you got to remember, like I told you, numbers is basically stones, right? So the top of it, you see you have a top bump and then you have a second bump. The top bump is the queen sitting on her throne, right? The queen of heaven and earth, Isis, she's the queen of the land. This her shit. She created this shit. This all her shit, right? So the top stone is representing her. The second stone on the left hand is representing the father line off the blue lines. That's what the second stone represents, right? So when you looking at the number one, you might not know what the number one means, but that's what it means. Like I said, it's the queen and the king now. I shouldn't say flip, but I should basically say it's a knot for both of them, right? So when you add another number to it, right? When you add another number to it, that's basically meaning you trying to represent something else than the other, right? So if you put a two next to the one, then that means you bouncing off the left bump off the third degree, which will be the father line, right? So you see the two is what they would call a king flip, because if you flip the two, you got a five, right? So The 5 is off the right hand, off the fourth degree, off the mother line, right? The 5 represents spirit, water, fire, air, earth, right? It's the 5 phases of matter when you're talking about the 5. But if you flip it to where it's representing just the 2, then it's representing the father line at that moment, right? So they like using these certain numbers because they know these numbers carry certain principles and laws to them. We just was unaware of it, right? Like you think like the one NBA team, the 76ers, the 7 is coming from the father line and the 6 is coming from the mother line, right? Because the 6 is connecting to the 6-point star, which would be the Star of David, representing air and water, right? The 7 will represent fire, which will represent knowledge off the father line off the left hand. Right, so that's why they got the color blue and red with the 76ers, because the blue represents the father line off the left hand, off the left bump, and the red represents the mother line off the right bump. That's what they represent, so that's why they call them the 76ers. Right, so when you looking at the whole structure and the whole layout of what they doing using these numbers, they breaking down the power that's within you, right? Because all these numbers represent you in a certain element. You just have to know how to place them together to know what the fuck they really mean. You know, it's up to you to know what it means. Because they do this shit, you know, they do it every day. You know, this is an everyday thing they do when they're using these numbers, right? This is also why I said gematria, gematria is real, right? Don't get me wrong, gematria is real, but you have to know the deeper understanding of how it works. You can't just say, oh, off of one number, that's why it's gonna work. You have to match all the other numbers together. Niggas just now saying that 9 is the number of completion. The only reason why they saying that is because they watching other motherfuckers. Right? They never knew that until people start putting that information out. Right? You still gotta know what the 2 is off the father line. You still gotta know what the 7 is off the father line. You still gotta know that the 3 is 2 canes. If you connect them together, you make an 8. You flip the 2, you got the 5 off the mother line off the right hand, and 4 is really a 7. You know, and this shit breaks down, nigga, into letters, nigga. And if you look at a Z is a 7. You know, this shit get deeper. So, um, people would like to make the claim, okay, you got the 9 in there, then that's how it works. No, it goes far beyond that. You can use a motherfucking name, like I just explained how, you know, certain letters connect the numbers. You can use a, you know, a motherfucking name, and then add the numbers on top of that to try to do what you're trying to do. You can do all that. It's way deeper than what motherfuckers perceive it as. It's way deeper, but it's real. They do it. They you know, they use that magic to do that shit. But you have to know the deeper arts and crafts of it. I know how it works, you know, but you just have to know before you try to put the information out and say what you know about it when you really don't have the information. Right? So You have to be able to realize what's going on. And then you have some people that's on our side that put out certain things on a certain date, on a certain number to represent something. Right? So you have certain days where you might put something masculine out off the father line, off the left hand. Then you have another day where somebody might put something out off the mother line, off the right hand. Right? There's certain people that knows these bumps and know how you balance off the two. That's why certain people do things and put certain things out on certain days at certain times. You may just think it's some negative shit when the whole time they working on your side if you really knew what was going on. Right? A lot of people ain't as stupid as you think think they is. A lot of people know what's going on. They know the left bump from the right. They know how you bump straight. Right? So you see certain people on social media, that's in tune with trait or tarot cards, right? And you have some of the women that have put out messages, right? They call them love messages, right? So the love messages will basically be the 528 hertz, the 5, the mother line, the 2, the father line, and then the 8 will be the infinite connection between the two brains or the two minds, which would be Horus and Ra. Left bump from the right bump from the left bump. Right, so they put out a love message on a certain day and at a certain time. They putting that out on a certain day and at a certain time to balance off of an energy, right? So the energy and the message that they receive, right, was put on them at a specific sequence, right? So now they have to act out the information that they just received by putting it out, right? And then you see a certain number connected to that, they balancing off of energy. And that energy is reflecting the message that they receive from that certain being. So that's how that works. Certain messages you get is off the father line, and certain messages you get is off the mother line. You just have to know which one is which, right? And then some of them could be off the mother line and off the father line at the same time. That's why I said 528. Or it could be 741. Or it could be a 639. Or it could be a 963. It's depending on the information that's being presented and granted to you. But but this is how it is though. All right. This is why I also have said before, uh, you have to know, you have to know your numbers. Really though, really know your numbers. I ain't talking about counting. Fuck counting. Because if you understand what I'm explaining, you understand that counting is basically illiterate. It doesn't even really exist in the cosmos. It don't exist. Because if you're counting, you're going over matter. You're going over it. You're not acknowledging it. You just going over it, which don't make it right. Right? But they tricked you into counting, thinking that counting is a normal way of life, but it's not normal, right? You don't even realize that certain money have an effect on the brain. Like a $5 bill has an effect on the brain. Right? That's why on the $5 bill, you notice the five, it be purple. Right? The $5 bill, right? And then they got the purple on it. The purple is connecting to your pineal gland. Right? Your pineal gland is activated by you balancing off the mother line, off the right brain, and then balancing off the father line, off the left brain. After you balance off the two enough, uh, once you balance off the two, and understand the structure of the two, this will activate your third eye, which is in the middle of your brain, which will allow you to see two visions from two different spectrums. Right? So you looking at that $5 bill and it got like purple around it, that's what it's representing. Right? Because the five, like I said, is off the right hand, off the mother line. The left part of it will be the two off the left hand, off the father line. Right? So they putting it there, right, to try to see if you get what they telling you. Most of us don't get what they tell us, so we just look at some shit and just move on. Right? But it's something being told in that. Right? That's why also most of the people that you think can't count, it's the reason why they can't count. They can't count for a reason. It ain't that they retarded, they just can't count because something in them is not allowing them to adapt to that shit. Right? That's why they can't count the best. But it's not being illiterate. It's just that they higher self and their mind is not gonna allow them to adapt and adjust to that. So that basically means they know something deeper about the numbers. To why something in them is not allowing them to adjust to knowing how to count. Because then when you looking at counting, if you realize how illiterate it was, you would be like, damn, that makes sense because you, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so you saying 10, you going back to 1. Right? 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Right, you get to 20, you going back to 2. Right, then you do 30, you going back to 3. So you basically counting from the same place you started at all over again. Basically, you just adding another number to it. You feel? That's what make it illiterate. But motherfuckers is not intelligent enough or wise enough to realize that this shit is fucking illiterate, and they teaching the kids this shit, and they thinking that that's a righteous way of going about life, but it's really not. If you really thinking about it, all you doing is going back to the same shit you started out with. That's all you doing. Right? So they want you to go over numbers, right? And they want you to use them for its incorrect purpose, so you don't realize what these numbers really motherfucking mean. That's why they got you doing that. Cause to another motherfucker, what I'm saying right now, this nigga sound crazy. What the fuck is he talking about? What the fuck is you talking about? Left bump, right bump, top stone. What the fuck is you talking about? You gonna think I'm crazy like I'm losing my motherfucking mind. Because you never heard nothing like that before. You was never taught nothing like that, right? Motherfuckers at Yale don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about, right? And they should be able, they don't even know. And the shit I'm telling you is a fact. That's why I'm saying it. But they don't even know it. Cause they wasn't even taught this shit. A motherfucker that's a part of a fraternity may know this shit. Now I wouldn't put it past them. They might know it. Right? Because if you look at certain letters they use, uh, or maybe certain numbers, it's related to hard shit, which would be stones. Right? But yeah, you may think I sound crazy, right? Because you ain't never heard this shit. But this is just the facts of this shit. So niggas out here been thinking they smart, right? All them silly motherfuckers be the motherfuckers that think they smarter than everybody because they went to college and they graduated. Nigga, you don't know shit. You don't know nothing from what you think you should know. You don't have a damn clue of what the fuck is real and what ain't real. You could go ahead and throw that motherfucking diploma in the garbage, nigga, because it don't mean nothing. It don't. It don't mean shit. You gotta know what's going on, and you have to know what's taking place. Because if you don't know what's taking place, you gonna be shit out of luck. You know. But this is the shit that uh I've been teaching for a minute now about numbers, and how they use them, what you call the enemy, whatever you want to call them, how they use them for a certain situation, uh, to try to give off a certain message, right? Or they trying to lower us in frequency by using these certain numbers, and they do it with letters, as well. right now. this is a this message I'm giving out. This is important because right now, right, it's the what they would call the day of harvest, right, aka Halloween. Right now, they uh they like doing shit tonight, right? It's Halloween. You know, there's gonna be motherfuckers out here doing stupid shit that they shouldn't be doing. Doing dumb shit, feel like they need to be outside around motherfuckers. You feel me? Around some, goofy motherfuckers. But tonight, they like doing shit, causing certain fucked up shit to happen tonight, because this is how they do. They like to use certain days out the year or certain holidays out the year to do certain things. So don't be surprised if you see some stupid shit some stupid shit come up. Right, I seen some random shit. An NBA player had got traded. A big NBA player had got traded. Little shit like that. But it's all a part of what they own. You know. Um. Also, it's important uh for you to also study letters, like I just spoke on, because letters is basically like numbers, right? Like if you look at a B, right? If you looking at um, a B with one line, right, with a circle at the bottom, that's basically a upside down 9, right? And then if you're looking at a B where you got the 2 lines, that will basically be a 8, right? And then, like I said, if you're looking at a Z will, if you turn it up straight, is basically a 7, right? And it's like that for a lot of other letters. Like if you look at an A looks like uh, a standing up triangle, right? So if you see a triangle standing up, that will represent air, right? Off the father line, off the left hand, off the blue lodge, right? So you look into letters and start figuring out what certain letters is, they're gonna connect you to these numbers and how all this shit comes together, you know, because it all means something, right? So if you see uh, a letter and it got stones at the bottom, then that mean they telling you something from uh, alchemical level and from a physics level. They telling you something. That's what I said about the people in sororities. They use a lot of letters with stones at the bottom, so that means they basically, in a sense, they on our side because they using it. You know. All right, so the bottom stone is balancing off the 2 degree, which will be below you, Earth, and then you see a top stone at the top. It will be balancing off the 3 degree and the 4th degree. Right, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and log off over here. I guess I said enough. Uh, I'd like some peace to the ladies. Peace to the fellas out there. Peace to the planet. Peace to the cosmos. Peace to the queen of heaven and earth, my mother. Uh, Peace to the Black Hawks out there. From one conscious mind to another, we all got each other. Great minds thinking alike. 2 great minds is greater than 1 mind. But 1 great mind is greater than no mind. 1 mind tells all, but 2 minds speak little. With that being said, this is Chief Simon Black Hawk. Y'all be safe out here. Watch yourself, protect yourself. For the women out there, you protect yourself, make sure you good. Because a lot of these niggas out here is not bump straight and they on some stupid shit. So make sure you watch yourself and make sure you got some protection with you. For the fellas out there, shit, you know, ain't nothing wrong with doing grown man shit. You ain't gotta be tough. You ain't gotta be no gangster. A gangster is somebody that's gonna stand on business righteously. You ain't gotta hurt your own people to be considered a man. Remember that. You know what I mean? So, that being said, it's Chief Silent Black Hawk. I'm out. Y'all be safe. Peace.